Hey guys, Hurdlegang here. Um, Doing something a little different today. I don't usually make videos like this, but I kind of always wanted to do one. So lately, I've been seeing a lot of the content creators make like tier lists for characters and where they think like their characters sit in the game and stuff like that. I actually did make one about a year ago. I said it wasn't like a video or anything like that. It was just me just putting the characters in tier list. It was kind of like a joking thing. I didn't really wasn't really serious about it. I didn't really put a lot of time into it. It was just like, all right, let me just put these characters here, 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 instead of actually like giving like a more lengthy breakdown of like where I feel, what I think about these characters in general. So what this tier list is going to be, obviously I play Paul. I'm a Paul main, Paul specialist, Paul loyalist. So this tier list is primarily going to have to deal with how my experiences have gone with like characters in ranked or online quick matches, stuff like that. Because as you may or may not know, I'm not really like a tournament player or anything like that. I just tend to play the game casually. But in the same token, I still play the game I play the game really competitively. So I feel like I have a good idea of like how I feel about a lot of characters. That being said, I'm going to try my best to make this tier list catering to how I feel and how my experiences have been. And I know other people's experiences are going to be different than mine because everyone plays different characters. Some may have similar takes on what I say, and some people may not. So let's get right into it. So I do have these tier lists. I do have notes, by the way. So I'm gonna try to get this done as fast as I can without spending too much time. So the first list obviously will be. All right. So I called this one Too Damn Strong. And pretty much speaks for itself. I don't think I have to elaborate too much on that. The next one we will do is Pretty Strong. We got a few characters in there. After that one we have, initially I had called this one, what did I call this one? No, this one I called Don't Know Match Up You Die. And this one I believe was like something like Average. Yeah, I think I call it Average. Regular-ish. Regular. I think that's what I called it initially on the paper. And the last one, people are gonna probably be mad at me for saying this, but bear with me. And I'll get to her, obviously when I get to her. Alright, so let's not waste any more time with this. So, and honestly, these I'm gonna go in order as I go along, because like, I have four sheets of paper with like notes, so we're gonna like keep this in order as much as possible as we go along. So we're not like wasting too much time like towards the end. All right, so right off the bat, we're putting this guy, at the top. I think a lot of people will probably agree with that. The 2D shenanigans, yeah, they can be a handful. The man has fireballs. Honestly, he forces you to play a different version of Tekken, a Tekken that like I think a lot of people, at least me, would rather not play. Yeah, I think he just breaks the game, man. It's a very difficult matchup. Every time I match up with an Akuma, man, it's honestly like a toss up. If I do manage to win against an Akuma when I'm playing online Tekken, I chalk it up as like a little bit of luck. I think there's things that you definitely have to keep in mind with Akuma when he's doing like his jumps. Jabbing him out the air, that can definitely be very helpful. Something I didn't really learn until like a little bit later down the road. But yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about Akuma. Right after him, going to put Zafina. Zafina, very difficult matchup for me generally. She crushes everything. Great movement, hard to get in without even worrying about getting launched by something. It's good damage. I think she's always been, ever since she got included in Tekken 7 as a DLC character, she's always been pretty strong. Yeah, another character where it's just like, you really have to just, honestly, the way I look at it is, I think you honestly have to like say a prayer before going up against Zafina. It's a really rough matchup, especially for Paul. I don't think Paul is really nimble enough to deal with her. So after Zafina, I'm gonna putting Leroy right after her. God Roy, the parry god, speaks for itself. I feel like ever since he was included in the game, he was already a god tier character. After the nerfs, he still managed to still be a really strong character, still a god character, you can say. I think he forces you to play patient, compare rage arts, lows, mids. You can pretty much do it all. That's Leroy for you. Alright, next we are going to go to Julia. Julia Chang. Where is she at? There she is. Alright, I just saw her. Saw her. It's kind of hard to see like the characters because they're all grouped together. Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're still putting her the too damn strong list. Crazy wall carry, can be very oppressive. Really good damage. She can break you down if you don't punish her correctly. Like you said, I think a lot of Julias will really try to annoy you with like her constant pressure. And if you're not patient enough, yeah, she will definitely do a number on you. No doubt. Next one is one of my personally one of the most hated characters. And usually everyone in my stream pretty much knows how I feel about this character. The Peanut Head, Falcon Ram. Honestly, I think ever since he was included, I feel like once he was included in the game, I feel like I tried to give him some time before I gave my opinion on him. But it didn't take too long for him to really get on my blacklist. Yeah, he's another like really oppressive character. Rush down. He can bully you to press a button, get a counter hit. I actually played a little bit of Falcon Ram, so I know a little bit about him. For my channel, I had like a channel reward for me to play Falcon Ram for 5 matches. It was for like 150,000 points. It actually got redeemed, and I had to play him for 5 games. So I remember going to the lab and just like practicing with him, and honestly, I hated it. Not to say I hated it. I hated that I had to play him, but he's actually relatively easy to play. I don't know if people think he's a hard character to use, but he's definitely not. Really easy mode character. His combos super easy to land. Not a lot of execution involved, which was kind of surprising to me because I know when I would play, I was like, man, I almost felt like these combos were kind of hard to land, but they really weren't. And I remember I managed to go 3-2, so I had more wins than losses in 5 games with no prior experience. Just going to the practice for a couple hours and then just playing them. So yeah, really strong character still, even after the nerfs. We're gonna go right into we're gonna go to Marduk next. Another one of those characters where he's very strong. Grabs, throws, broken tackle mechanic, broken raise drive tackle. You said tackle in general. Throws you have to keep in mind of all the time. Can't stay on the ground with him. He can grab you from the ground with high damage throws. Yeah, he's just the bully. Strong, really hot, really long reach. Damage down forward 1 reaches so far. But yeah, I think there's a reason why a lot of people, are picking Marduk a lot nowadays. He's proven to be like a really strong character. Not sure why they made him so crazy good in this game, but it's the DLC thing. And as you can see, all these, well, besides Akuma, so far all these characters they're at the top DLC. I don't think that's a coincidence. So we're also going to go back to. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so now we're going to go to Lydia, aka Kalydia. That's what I call her in my streams. If you're in a Hurdlegang, you know. She's a disease to me. Really toxic. Her strings are ridiculous. She can rush you down with those. Not knowing how to deal with those strings can really break you down. She can make your life a living hell with her strings. I think that's just I think that's what she really excels in. And from what I've heard, she's pretty easy to use. I wouldn't know. Never play her. No desire to play her. All right, so now we're gonna go to Fang. See, he's too damn strong. Not sure why he got all these buffs in the last patch. I don't think he personally needed it. I feel like he excels at just like being in your face a lot, forcing you to try to make a mistake. The shoulders, Fang Wei players' favorite like move to use. Just do the shoulder as a whip punisher, as a combo ender. Does a lot of damage on top of that. So yeah, he's the first non-DLC in this list so far to be in the too damn strong list. Next we will go to Alyssa, the Chainsaw Queen. Oh wait. Here we go. Yeah, Alyssa's definitely the Chainsaw Queen. If you don't respect her chainsaws, you're just gonna get cut up. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. I think I've learned that the hard way. Try and do like a rage art right before she does the chainsaws, and the chainsaw still wins out every time. It's very frustrating. If you don't utilize like your movement, like trying to sidestep Alyssa, like that can definitely like hurt you like down the road. And I feel like I've started learning that as I played her more and more, and as I've gotten more experience playing against her, utilizing like your sidestepping and your definitely can be a positive thing for you with her. After Alyssa, we're gonna go with Devil Jin. As far as like people's tier list has gone, I feel like they've always had like, and this has nothing to do with what they put him at. It's just like what I'm thinking, but he's always been usually a pretty strong character. Usually he's always at the top in like the S tiers. One of the best hell sweeps in the game. I think that speaks for itself. Up for spammable move. I think Devil Jins can be really flowcharty, especially as online goes, when connections can have like a big impact on like your reactions to some moves. Not being able to make good reads can really do a number on you. Gotta respect the electrics. That's with every Mishima player. Good wall damage. Top of that, but yeah, Devil Jin still a really strong character. Alright, so I think that's the end of my too damn strong list. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we got 10 and too damn strong, which is, I guess that's not too bad. I think I have more in my pretty strong list. So my first and pretty strong, I had Geese Howard in there to start it off. 2D character, 2D shenanigans, just like Akuma. It's not as egregious or crazy or OD as a Kuma. Still pretty scary. Projectile moves. Absurd amount of damage off counter hits. Good 50-50. Kind of forces you to play, make guesses often, and either way, he's gonna get a good amount of like damage off of you. So it's just one of those characters where I feel like you kind of just have to make good reads. If you can't make these reads, and obviously you still have to, like you said, when you're playing a 2D character, in my opinion, I feel like you have to. You're not playing regular Tekken, and you have to remember that while you're playing the matchup, or else you're just gonna get torn to shreds. Rafter Geese, we have no surprise. We have another 2D. I know a lot of people will probably put her a little bit lower, but just the sole fact that she still forces you to play a different game like Geese. You say you're playing a different version of Tekken. I feel like her meter fills up way too fast, and I think she's at her weakest. She's at her weakest when she doesn't have meter. But her meter, the fact that it fills up so fast, I think that definitely has to be like taken into like consideration. You have to play a patient game, as with like other 2D characters, Kuma and Geese. If you're not being patient against her, she's gonna hurt you like really badly. After Alyssa, I decided to put King. I've noticed, especially like more now, I feel like the King matchup as it relates to Paul, I feel like it highly favors Paul. One streamer, really good Tekken player, goes by the name of Shenzo. I remember I played him a couple times, and I remember he even said that like the King Paul matchup highly favors King, and I feel like the more I play King, the more I'm starting to like realize that his throw game is crazy good. You think you got Giant Swing and Shining Wizard down packed, breaking them that is, and he hits you with like a Tombstone or a Muscle Buster or a Chain Throw. He can beat you with the grabs. He can beat you just regular hand-to-hand stuff. He can be pretty deadly with both. So yeah, I feel like that's why King should be there. I'm going to go with where is he at? Hurdlegang. Alright, here he is. So I'm gonna put him right after King. Super high rush down, string heavy character. I feel like a lot of online Hurdlegangs, at least in my experience, they're not gonna stop. Doesn't matter what you do, they're gonna continue applying the pressure. To make them at least think about applying the pressure, using like Paul has a pretty good evasion tool, his sidestep shoulder, which is pretty good to use against characters like Hurdlegang. Me personally, I feel like I don't do it enough. Also parries, if a character has a parry, it's also a good tool to use. I feel like Hurdlegangs can dictate the pace early and often in the game. So your best bet is to try not to let them get going, because I feel like they start quick, because I feel like that's how they get their momentum. So if you're able to like kind of slow them down, so to speak, use that to your advantage. I think that's the best thing you can do going for yourself with this character. All right, after Hurdlegang, I'm gonna put Jin. Put Jin here. I feel like Jin has a lot of good tools, especially as it pertains to like Paul. 4-4, I feel like it's like a Paul killer. That's what I tell like my stream all the time. Anytime like a Jin punishes me for doing Death Fist or doing a Demo Man, I feel like it has like a limited range. Even when I'm thinking it's not gonna reach, it still reaches me. So it's just like Like I don't know. I feel like that move is a really good tool for Jin. Obviously, hell sweeps gets a lot of damage from the hell sweeps. If Jin's really good with his movement and wave dashing, like sometimes it's like really hard to see and react to it. And Wi-Fi connection, it's hard to get a read on hell sweeps. It's like a 50-50. It's a guess all the time. Electrics, you have to respect the electrics, obviously. Like you said, the wave dash is a good complement if a gym player is really good at movement. He could be a wrecking ball, force of nature, seriously. After Jin, I had Steve. Where's Steve at? Where is he at? Alright, here he is. Alright, I feel like Steve is I think he's always been a pretty good character. Not like overly strong, but still pretty strong. He got better as the season's gone along. He has good sidestepping, good counter hit tools. He has pretty good damage. He said I know a lot of people would put him, at the a lot of tiers I've seen, they've always had him as S plus or, but he said I think he has good tools. I think he's obviously I think he's pretty well rounded. I don't think he has too many weaknesses. Obviously, he doesn't have lows because he's a boxer, but I feel like he has good evasion with a lot of his moves. Being a boxer, I feel like he should naturally have good evasion tools. I don't think you want to mash too much against Steve because he can hit you with some counter hits. So definitely have to be wary of that when you go up against him. I'm not sure if people are going to be surprised or shocked at me putting my main character here, but I'm going to try to be as objective as possible. But that's going to be mixed in with like my personal views as well. Where is he at? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's off to the side. Where you at, Paul? All right. My guy, Mr. Phoenix, aka Black Paul. If you know, you know. I'm Black Paul. That's where I go by. It's my alter ego. But yeah, let's get into Paul. Paul obviously has really good damage. The Rage Art cancel mechanic is extremely good. Can get really. It has lets Paul get really a lot of comeback potential. Obviously down forward 2, great tool, great range, good crushing properties. Paul, good poking, excellent throw game. He has 2 throws, 1+2 throws, 1 throws. He has the ground tackle throw, ultimate punishment, does 61 damage. I know one of the things I said for like Paul and Tekken, whether they make another patch, is to buff ultimate punishment, because I feel like it's going to force people to like learn to break more, because a lot of people still don't really know how to break it. It's a one break. Like you said, I feel like his poking is good, but I feel like it could be better. As far as online goes, and I tell these people all the time when they want to say Paul is like OP, best top 5 character in the game or whatever, top 10 in the game. As far as online goes, in my experience, because I played online way more than I've done tournaments, because I've only been in like one like local tournament before. Paul's difficult to win in the high ranks. I think it's primarily because everyone knows the matchup. He's one of the most used characters in the game. I think he actually is the most used character in the game. I think everyone has at least a pocket Paul on the side that they use. Like I said, I think everyone knows the matchup. I think it's harder I think I have to rely more on my mix-ups and setup game more than just Paul's tools in general. So I think that, obviously he's still a strong character. I'm not gonna lie and say like he's not a strong character. He's not average or anything like that. He's still a top 20 character. Even with all things that I've said, but I still think that as far as online goes and competing, it's not easy winning, at least in my experience. And maybe some other Paul mains may also agree with that as well. But you know, like you said, he's still strong. You know, he still has a lot of good tools. You know, obviously, you know, Demo Man, wow, I don't think is a really good move, given that, like, okay, you can still punish it, duck and punish it. It's a 50-50 nonetheless. For Paul, it's gonna just run up. All right, it's kind of forcing you to play a 50-50 guess. Not the craziest. It's not a move that I even spam. Not a move that I even like to use a lot. I mostly just use it as like a wall carry. But yeah, I think Paul's still like a really strong character. And personally, and this is, you know, this is just it's my personal opinion. I'm just trying to be subjective with what I'm saying. But yeah, I put Paul here. Next, I actually have Lars Alexanderson here. I think obviously starting off in season 1, I don't think Lars was as strong as he is now. As the season's gone along, he's definitely seen a lot of buffs, a lot of improvements. I feel like he's always been like a rushdown character, kind of obnoxious, annoying you with like pokes and lows. He can definitely chip you down really quickly too, and it doesn't take too long for him to just like take your health bar just from utilizing his his pokes. And obviously his wall carry has seen significant improvement. Wall carry damage on top of that. I feel like Lars, a lot of the Lars players that I tend to run into online, relatively, a lot of them tend to play the same way. Not a character that I hate, but I just feel like it's just the players that tend to annoy me with like how they like to play him. And that's what tends to be my downfall with him. So yeah, Lars, we'll go there. Right after Lars, I have Lily. Do I have Lily? Yes, I do have Lily after him. Alright, wait, hold on. Wait, no, she's not. Not her there. There we go. Lily, another character that's seen like a lot of buffs in season 4. I think it's a fairly universal opinion that she has like the best or top 5, top 3, or even the best sidestep in the game. I think she can be pretty difficult to read, especially with like her like back turn setups. Is she gonna do a low? Is she gonna do a mid? You try to rush Lily down. Yeah, she's gonna hit you with a Matterhorn, and she can wall carry you instantly with that move. I think you definitely have to play patient with Lily. If you're not, like you said, you're gonna get hit with a lot of things, a lot of mix-ups. So next, I will put Kazuya, and I guess as a disclaimer, I feel like the Too Damn Strong is relatively like in order. I'm trying to put these in order as much as possible, but they might not always be in order. But you know, give or take, you know, some might be like reordered, but for the most part, like as they're gonna be in their correct tier. So don't put too much stock into like, all right, this character is in this spot or this character is in another slot. Just know that like this is the tier I feel like they're in. Kazuya, let's see. Obviously the traditional Mishima Hell Sweep mix-ups, electrics, 4-4-3, down 4-2, forcing you to play a 50-50 mix-up, as we all know. I feel like if you don't utilize your sidestepping Kazuya, you're just gonna keep doing the Hell Sweeps. Keeping your distance is also pretty vital against Kazuya. And you can either learn it the easy way or you can learn it the hard way, and I feel like I've definitely learned it the hard way a lot of times. and using sidestep is one of those things where I still need to improve on as a Paul player. It's my lowest ranked stat when I look on my player information setting. It's always been sidestepping, and Kazuya. Yeah, if you're able to sidestep, they're gonna think twice about doing their spamming hell sweeps on you a lot. So that's something you definitely should keep in mind. Next we have another 50/50 character, and this is actually a character that I actually got my third Tekken God Prime. Today's Monday. Yeah, it was actually late on Sunday because I had a 9-hour stream. I didn't even know if it was going to be like a TGP stream, but like as it got later into the stream, I was like, okay, maybe I can get this TGP. And surprisingly enough, it was actually against the Bob. So like I was saying, Bob is a pretty big 50/50 character. Can make your life hard if you don't punish him effectively. And I feel like in the set I was playing this Bob for my TGP promo, I feel like as the set went along, I feel like, all right, I'm starting to pick up on like, all right, I should punish this, I should launch this. And I feel like generally if you're playing someone in like a long set, not always the case, but you know, you tend to play better as it goes along. Okay, you're able to experiment. Okay, if this is not working, let me try this instead. And while there's some things I still could have done better with, I still feel like my punishment against Bob was definitely got better as it went along. But I just feel like you definitely need to be wary of his 50/50s mix-ups. He has a lot of strings as well, a lot of duckable strings that you can launch. But like you said, if you don't really know the matchup too well, he can definitely be a lot to deal with, but not impossible. Next I have Heihachi. Where is he at? Here he is. Just like any other Mishima, I said before. You know, alright, why is this not? There we go. Just like I said with a lot of other Mishimas, Gray Electrics, Hell Sweeps, a lot of Heihachis that I've run into as far as online goes, tend to play pretty aggressive, rush down, a lot of wave dashes going on. So if you're not like on top of that, yeah, a Heihachi player is definitely gonna be in your face a lot. I feel like I have a better handle on Heihachi over Kazuya and Jin, Double Jin. But I feel like generally as a Paul player, I feel like I can handle pressure to a degree, but it's just like the constant pressure and like the pressing of the buttons and just being in my face all the time. It can sort of kind of wear me down, and you know, if I'm not able to shut down a Heihachi like earlier on, I feel like it's gonna be just worse for me. But I still think Heihachi's still a pretty strong character. While not the strongest Mishima, I think he's still pretty strong. Next, I have Brian Fury. Brian's he can be pretty tricky. I think it has to do with his the taunt jet upper mechanics. Not having a full understanding on how that works, it can be pretty tricky. Obviously, everyone knows his soccer kicks can be super spammable. Kind of have to respect it too. If you have a good read on it, make sure you punish it every time. Like, I felt like personally it should be launched, but that's just me. But he has a respectable orbital as well. I think Brian I think Brian's always been a character, at least as far as it's concerning me. He's always been, not to say he's never been a hated character, but he's a character where I'm just always just like, okay, I have to be conscious of like everything going on. Especially when I'm at the wall, the taunt up at the wall does so much damage. So I feel like you really have to just be on the lookout for a lot of things when you go up against Brian. Next, I'm gonna put Lee. Lee's a character I think, especially for like Lee mains. A lot of Lee mains tend to like. I'm not putting any names out there. I'm not gonna throw any shade or anything like that, but I think Lee tends to get downplayed a lot. He's still a pretty good character. He's a counter hit king. That's what I tend to call him. He has pretty good poking, wall carry, wall damage combos. I think he can close the distance on you pretty well. Naturally. I never really got why every League players come to his defense on like, all right, he's not a strong character. They put him like below average or just average. Nothing about him seems average to me. I believe that's the, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so we have 14 pretty strong. We had 10 and 2 damn strong. Alright, that's not too bad. Alright, so I think that's the end of my pretty strong tier list. Next, we actually have Maven, Master Raven, to start off the average regular list. I thought about putting her a little bit higher, personally, but I think she can be a pretty elusive character. I think, I mean, not even think, she has a very good wall carry. The teleports, the wall carry damage. I don't think Paul's very nimble enough to really just run all over a Master Raven. I feel like I'm playing more. I feel like I have to play a little more patient when I play her. But I don't think she's broken or anything like that. I think she can be beaten if you're patient enough. I feel like one of the moves I never really got too much was her flying sword slash move. Has really deceiving range, and as much as like I feel like I'm like backdashing, I mean not even backdashing, but just like walking out of range, I'm still getting hit by it. I always felt like that move. I mean, it's not like a super popular move, but it's a move that I feel like has way more success than it needs to. I feel like the range on that should have been nerfed a long time ago, because I feel like the success rate on that move against me is pretty high, and I feel like it's probably high with because a lot of Master Ravens have really good like setups. They know how to use their character to the best of their ability. They know what she can do. They know what she can excel at, and they definitely take advantage of it. So next we have, I put Anna Williams. I feel like Anna was one of those characters when she got released. I really didn't know how to deal with her at all. Obviously, the things that she still has, her 50-50 game, crouching arm sweep, crouching launching flip. You can't react to the low sweep. It's more of just like, all right, you get lucky, you get a lucky read on it. You can try to fuzzy guard it, but I mean, I still feel like it's like a unreactable low. But I think with consistent punishment, you can pretty much take down Anna, and I feel like if you're punishing her consistently, I think you can really force Anna to just like play a little bit differently than they probably normally would if you weren't like punishing her or launch punishing her for her shenanigans, or her cheese as we like to call it. Alright, next I have Miguel. I have Miguel here. Wait, if I can get him. Miguel, very string heavy character. I think Miguel's kind of want you to like press buttons so they can catch you with a counter hit. I think they live for it. Personally, a lot of Miguel's online, PS4, PC, doesn't really matter. Maybe more so PS4. And not to say I'm not PS4, because I played PS4 longer than I played PC, but I feel like I've played a good amount of both to have a good idea of like how certain players play with Miguel. But yeah, I feel like they can be very flowcharty. It's kind of hard to get a read on some of his moves because they just have like really janky like animations. So it could be a toss up with Miguel. But every time I go into the matchup, I'm wary of the strings. I'm wary of like the flow charts and a lot of his kind of cheesy like just gimmicky like moves and setups. But I still find myself getting hit by a lot of them. But nonetheless, I don't think he's super strong. I just think like it's like just the play style like certain players can bring the most out of him. Next, I'm going to put Dragunov here. Excellent poking for Dragunov. Running twos, obviously. If you're not sidestepping that, yeah, good luck. But even me personally, when I go up against like a Dragunov, I'm not always sidestepping. And when I do it, obviously they're not throwing it out. Sometimes they'll still throw it out even when they see me sidestepping to the left, but yeah, it's not gonna stop them. I think it's such a really good move to use that like even if they see their opponent like sidewalking or trying to evade it, they still have to throw it out there because I think that it has a lot of like the upside if it does land. But yeah, the pokes can really chip you down. If you're not like blocking and punishing those the down back twos, yeah, it can really hurt you in a match, and he could definitely take down your health bar pretty quickly. Claudio, I always looked at Claudio as like a matchup nightmare type of character, and when I say that, it's just like I think the mechanics of like the starburst is it's always been like kind of like a anomaly to me. When Tekken 7 first came out, I'm like, wait, why does he have that? And everything he does is like safe, like you can't punish it at all. But running twos, you have to respect that. Really fast move and does a lot of damage. He has good counter hit moves as well. Claudio, I feel like he kind of sits like in the middle of the pack, not super strong. Obviously he's not weak either, but he definitely can put in work against you if you're not careful. Law, I don't really have too much to say about Law, honestly. I think some people have him higher. Like I said, I don't think he's a weak character. I don't think he's overly strong. I think it's really the player that are really able to like get the most out of him. Obviously, there's the DSS. I know a lot of people talk about that. His slide mix-ups can be a good tool. Generally, I feel like I lose to Law because as far as online goes, I think sometimes I try to be a little too aggressive. I think some laws I tend to run into, they might want to try to dictate the pace. I feel like I also run into a lot of aggressive Law players. But I feel like when I lose to him, I feel like it's mostly my fault. But yeah, I feel like Law's pretty good. But I don't think he's deserving of being like higher than some of these characters, but I guess it could be argued. Like I said, this is just my personal take. Jack's a pretty boring character, but not a bad character. I feel like he's relatively balanced. I can't really get mad at losing to Jack. But that being said, like my matchup knowledge with him isn't the greatest. Not to say he has anything cheesy or anything like that. It's just like, you know, it's just not a character that just tend to run into enough where I can just like, all right, I can punish him effectively like all the time. I feel like he has really good range. His down forward twos has really good reach. Honestly, I think you're just playing. You're playing just, you know, really solid Tekken when you go up against like a Jack. As far as I'm concerned, like you said, my lack of punishment proficiency, I think, is what stopped me from like beating Jacks. So yeah, I think it's more so like me needing to just be better at the matchup and just punishing more. But yeah, I think Jack is. I don't really have anything really bad to say about Jack. Like, you know, middle of the pack character. Also have who do I have after him? I have Armor King. After Jack. I tell my stream this a lot. I look at DLC characters. I joke and say I call them DLC trash because a lot of the DLC characters just have a lot of cheese involved with like their mechanics. Armor King, I don't think he really fits the bill like that. I think he's the least egregious of all the DLC characters. I think that's pretty popular opinion. Still, he has a good whip punisher in Dark Upper. Solid throw game, not as egregious as King, his counterpart, but still pretty good. I feel like Armor King's more of like a combative, hand-to-hand type of fighter than just like a wrestler, because you know that's pretty much what King is. But nonetheless, he still has enough to still be good. But I don't think he's too egregious. And another thing, as far as like Armor King goes, you know, as far as like playing online players, a lot of Armor Kings tend to be pretty aggressive, in your face a lot. They still will utilize the grabs, don't get me wrong. So you definitely have to like be on top of like your throw breaking, but not as bad. You said not as bad as King, but still really good. Next, I have probably one of the most universally known honest characters in the game, especially the most honest female in the game, I will say. Nonetheless, she still has a really good poke game. Not very threatening. I think it's really her pokes that really can chip you down if you're not careful enough. So you definitely have to be honest with that. Be wary of that. Who do I have next after Kazumi? We have Noctis. Noctis, where is he at? Okay. No, not there. Noctis. I don't think any range is safe from Noctis. Honestly, with that teleportation sword move that he does, you really have to be careful, like sidestepping. He can hit you, like you said, he can hit you from any range. I feel like he can also kind of make you play patient because of that. I feel like I had more issues with Noctis earlier on when he got released. And I feel like that's for like a lot of characters, you know, especially DLC characters. You know, you need more time, matchup time playing him to really get a good idea of like how you need to play against him. He can still be pretty tricky though, but I don't think he's overly egregious. Next, I have Asuka. Fun fact: Asuka's actually one of my pocket characters. I mean, I only really play one pocket character. A little backstory: I played Joan Kazama in Tekken Tag 2. She was my main, along with Paul. But you know, Asuka's obviously the closest thing we're gonna get to Jun until we get to Tekken 8. But she's no Jun, and I tell people that all the time. But aside from that, you know, Asuka still has a really good parry. Has its weaknesses. Obviously, elbows and knees can beat it out. I feel like Asuka's rely more on like their mix-ups and, you know, obviously counter hits to really make their way in a game. She's not really getting too much damage from her moves. Back 3, good defensive tool. Forward 2, great with Punisher. Those are the main two things that like Asuka players definitely are going to utilize. Next we have Josie Rizal. Another string heavy character, very rush down heavy. I think she really tends to annoy the opponent, especially me, with her pokes and lows. I feel like you have to kind of play a patient game with her. I feel like as far as Paul's concerned, I feel like I personally need to utilize more sidestep evasion tools, like my sidestep shoulder option. I think a lot of Josies want you to play her game, but rushing down Josie, I don't think that's a good call. She does have a parry. Like you said, she can make your life a living hell if you want to like play her game. Next I have Negan. I was not really a big fan of Negan when he first got released. Coming from like The Walking Dead, I didn't honestly. This is away from Tekken. I never really watched The Walking Dead. Prior to that, I only started getting into The Walking Dead maybe what was it, during the fall? Last fall I started watching The Walking Dead more, and I feel like watching that kind of gave me a little bit more appreciation for Negan. Not to say I would play him as a character, but this has nothing to do with like him, his fighting style. But I don't think he's overly threatening. Honestly, he has good reach, obviously with his bat. He can be punished pretty effectively if you're patient enough. And I think Paul has really good tools to like punish Negan. So I'm not really. I don't think I'm really stressing him too much anymore. After Negan, I have Leo. Leos, as far as like, I feel like I run into a lot of Leos on PSN Tekken. Very aggressive. Players tend to play her very aggressively. The strings, a lot of players like to rush you down and apply constant pressure all the time. Her 50-50 game is on point. She can hurt you really badly with that. I feel like, me personally, if I'm able to get a read on Leos, I feel like I can manage the matchup pretty well. But like you said, it has to do with like punishing effectively, launch punishing effectively. That all plays a role with Leo. After Leo, I have Katarina. Katarinas are pretty tricky. From what I've heard, she's pretty easy to use. And I say she's tricky because a lot of her, some of her moves, they kind of look very similar, and that kind of makes it kind of harder to punish. Because sometimes I want to do a launching 2 from crouch, and sometimes I want to do a while rising 3-2 from crouch on Katarina. And then sometimes if I'm wrong, I get punished for it. But yeah, she has really good range. I don't think she's overly egregious. But yeah, she can definitely annoy you with her strings. Just like with a lot of characters in the game who, you know, are very string heavy. Just like the next character I'm about to put after her, which would be Nina. Nina is also, as I was saying before, pretty string heavy character. She can break you down, force you to respect her strings. I feel like a lot of players that I tend to run into, honestly, with my Nina matchup knowledge, I feel like it's mostly me just losing to like the players, because a lot of players know her strengths. They know they can abuse strings. They know they can abuse a lot of her, rush down mechanics. And I think it's mostly just the players utilizing her to their fullest potential. So while I don't think she's overly strong, I just think I'm losing to the player as far as like online goes. But I can't really view her as like a overly strong character. I think actually I do have one more for average and regular. I think that is, where is he at? Oh, of course he's at the far right. Shaheen. Even from season 1, Shaheen hasn't been a character that I ran into a lot. Once in a blue moon, I'll probably fight a Shaheen, and it's honestly like a toss up. I don't think he really excels too much at anything. I mean, he has a good slide mix up. I don't find him a very threatening character. It's just one of those things where it's like I haven't played him enough, so it's like I wouldn't be surprised if he does beat me. But he's also not that strong enough, so where it's like I'm not like completely lost. I can still manage to still get some wins because he's not a very strong character generally. So he's the last person I put in average. So these characters that you see here, these are all the characters I put notes for. There's a lot of notes that I wrote down before I decided to make this video. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, basically just all the characters that you see in the list right now. And the rest I'm pretty much just gonna like just go off. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but I'll put Lucky Chloe in her respectable slot. So I'll give you some backstory on Lucky Chloe. I used to hate going up against Lucky Chloe's. Probably around like late season 1, all season 2. It wasn't until maybe like season 3 when I started, playing Chloe's more and starting to understand the matchup more. Players that watch my stream that play her, I would run into a lot. She was actually the character I almost had my Tekken God Omega promo from. I was 2 games away from Tekken God promo. Tekken God Lucky Chloe being, we had a super long set. But yeah, I was really comfortable. I played him in the past and other Lucky Chloes I played. I think honestly it's probably my most favorable matchup. I feel like it's like I just like jump for joy every time I see a Lucky Chloe in the load up screen, because like I know like, okay, Paul has so many tools to like shut her offense down. Cali roll, Paul has tools. Even if your character doesn't have like a tool to shut down the initial Cali roll, sidestepping is a viable option. Paul has his new armor move to shut that down. Obviously, down 1+2 can shut down the Cali roll. And not even just his tools, but just like tools that every character can do, like jabbing her out of her double move. When she says like double, you can jab her out of that. But just generally, it's just an easy matchup for me. I don't think she's very strong at all. I think it's really up to the player to really utilize her the most, to get the most out of her, because she's really not very strong in my opinion. And finally, I'm just gonna put the remaining. I think all these characters just minus Violet, because and Devil Kazumi. I'm not gonna use those obviously because I have Lee here. In no really particular order, honestly. Eddie, I think Eddie's one of those characters where it's like, you know, he can just kill you so many ways. Yeah. Obviously, his lows can be annoying to deal with. I know a lot of people tend to have him on the lower parts of their tier list, but I think he definitely just can roll over you. Even from like my early like season 1-2 days, Eddie was one of those characters where it's just like I don't really know the matchup that well. It's just like, okay, maybe I can get lucky ducking something and launching it, or getting like a little wall rising 3-2 punish. I try to use my armor moves, but I don't really know the Eddie matchup, and I don't think I've ever truly known it. Ganryu, I think it speaks for itself. DLC cheese. Like, I never really know what's going on in the Ganryu matchup. A lot of moves can miss on him, especially when he does like his split. Just a weird character. Not like you said, it's I laugh at it because it's just like I wonder what's going through the Ganryu player's mind when they play me, and you know, and I wish I had like my my matchup win rate, because you know how it says like your matchup win rate per like your character on the loading screen. I'm pretty sure it's pretty low. If I beat a Ganryu, I usually just thank the Tekken gods for just like, you know, looking over me, because I usually am not confident when I go up against him. Kuma and Panda, you know, bears, I think they speaks for itself. Cheesy, no one knows the matchup. Janky hitboxes, like just overall just like a cheesy character. Not saying they're super strong, but I think the fact that like they're really cheesy and no one knows how to play them can make them like a kind of like a Weapon X type of character. Some Paul combos honestly don't even land because of like their janky hitboxes. Like, I actually have to like change up a lot of like my combos to just do like safer to get my damage. I have to like change up my my launching combos, and I find myself having to do that often. But gimmicky character, it's really cheesy, especially as online's concerned. If you have like a bear player with like a bad connection, just I had to say a prayer for you, because that's probably one of the worst things you could ever like run into. And I've had my fair share of like Wi-Fi bad connection like bear players, and a lot of them just don't get rematched, and that's probably the best thing you can do online. Just don't bother rematching some of these guys. Lei Wulong character, he has so many different setups, so many different stances that you have to deal with. He has like four or five different raise drive stances. He can kill you a variety of ways. Hard to react to a lot of his lows. Janky looking animations. Not a character that I would ever even attempt to lab, because even if you lab a character like this, it's not really enough. It's not really enough. And I feel like I played my fair share of Lei Wulongs, and I still don't really know what's going on in the matchup. Ling Xiaoyu, character that can just kill you if you really don't know the matchup. Her Cali roll, really good. Doing any high when she's doing that is like instant death. Her back turn setups are crazy. Her rage drive is really good. You have to have a good read on that to even like. I feel like 75% of the time I'm getting hit by the rage drive because I don't have a good read on it, and it's so fast. It comes out in an instant. AOP is a broken tactic. Ducks mids. Crazy good tool. Ling Xiaoyu's are. I think a Ling Xiaoyu player would be crazy not to abuse it because of how effective it is online. Gigas. I know a lot of people say Gigas was like really weak. I don't really buy into all that. In season 1, I know a lot of people say he was like a C tier or even like lower than that. I never really bought into that though. Granted, I don't think I played too much against Gigas in season 1, but I feel like now I play a little bit more. It's kind of like a toss up, honestly, in my opinion. I feel like you definitely have to know like your punishments against him. If you don't know the punishment, he can definitely break you down. I was actually playing against the Gigas in my recent TGP stream, and it was going okay at first. I was actually running the table pretty good, and then I just started I guess the opponent started adapting. And it's not even to say that I have a good matchup experience against Gigas, because I don't think I do. It's just the fact that like I was just able to get away with a lot of things that my opponent just wasn't really wasn't ready for, and I think I just used that to my advantage. But character where maybe not super strong, but if you don't know the matchup, yeah, he's stronger than you think, and he could definitely surprise a lot of people. Kui Mitsu, I look at her as the DLC cheesy character. Not putting her in a broken list. I just think she relies so much on like her gimmicks and setups and her 50-50 games. I think she's honestly just playing games with you majority of the time and just trying to irritate you and frustrate you. I find myself getting hit by a lot of her mix-ups, and because I can't get a read on it. She can hit you from half the screen, just like Noctis. Overall, just a cheesy character. But if you launch Punisher for her nonsense, like her sliding low, which honestly isn't launched at certain ranges, which is weird to me. But I feel like you definitely have to punish her as much as you can. Because she can be a party character, and a lot of characters, a lot of players online they're gonna utilize her BS, so you have to be ready for it. Yoshi, also party character. Personally, I don't think I know the Yoshi matchup very well. I think he has a lot of cheesy things, as with Kuni, a launching sword sweep move, which is ridiculous. And I think a lot of people tend to they're gonna crouch thinking they can block it, but they'll still get hit by it. But it's more just like a reactionary type of thing. Like in your head, like, all right, he's going to do this low sword sweep, and I know it's gonna hit me if I block low, but like I know I'm not far enough to like evade it. So I find myself getting hit by it a lot. But some people will say like, okay, you can delay hop kick it, but it's not always an easy move to react to. Some people have a good reaction to it, but personally, me, it's not one of those moves where I can react to it too well. So, but yeah, and generally, Yoshi players are definitely utilizing a lot of like his party mechanics. I think that's like the key to his game. Punishing him is definitely vital. You can't let a Yoshi just go crazy on you. Definitely don't want to rush him down, but you definitely want to make sure you punish him for things that are punishable, because as with a lot of characters in the game, that party and are really rushed down. If you don't punish them effectively, then what's going to stop them from continuing to do what they want to do, like dictating the pace and things of that nature. So yeah, this was fun, guys. This is my final. I'm not gonna do too many adjusting, because I spent a fair amount of time taking notes with a lot of these characters, especially these 3 lists. I spent a lot of time just like taking notes and trying to give you guys a little bit of analysis and like what I think about these characters. And obviously this list is based